You might not have known it, but last week was National Flag Week. Yet, we spent most of it with the nation's flags at half-staff. Of course, what happened in Orlando last weekend is but the latest in the terrible accounting of these sorts of things. Once again, we found ourselves struggling to separate the strands of anger, sorrow, shame, and anguish.
I don't know where my son is. No one can tell me where my son is. If he's been shot, if he's dead, no one knows.
The bodies of her son, Drew Leinonen, and his partner, Juan Guerrero, were found side by side on the floor of the Pulse nightclub. They had been seeing each other for almost 2 years, inseparable in life and in death, it seems. Brenda McCool had gone to the club with someone too, her son Isaiah, one of 12 children she raised, who watched her beat cancer twice. But that night, her son watched his mother collapse in a hail of bullets, bullets that nearly took him as well. He survived, but surviving that awful night comes with its own kind of pain.
The guilt of feeling grateful to be alive is heavy. Wanting to smile about surviving, but not sure if the people around you are ready.
Patience Carter penned that poem after making it out of the club safely with her friend Akira Murray. But they both ran back inside to get Akira's cousin, Tiara Parker. All three were trapped in the bathroom. All three were shot. Patience and Tiara made it to the hospital, but Akira would become the youngest of the 49 victims, just 18, barely out of high school. There are stories for each and every one of the Orlando victims. For all the hate and horror and terror, the celebration of their lives has made this city both the saddest and most loving place in the country. Still, the sameness of it all is simmering.
I held and hugged grieving family members and parents, and they asked, why does this keep happening? And they pleaded that we do more to stop the carnage. They don't care about the politics. Neither do I.
We used to expect change in the wake of the unspeakable.
Everyone around me got shot.
After Columbine, schools began installing metal detectors.
Holy cow.
After the Oklahoma City bombing, federal buildings across the country became fortresses. And of course, after 9/11, none of us ever got through an airport the same way again. But on gun violence, we seem stuck. And that inaction carries consequences. The phrase thoughts and prayers has become trite in the eyes of many.
The chair asks that the House now observe a moment
To some,
of silence
moments of silence
in memory
aren't
of
much
the
better.
victims
This was Democratic Congressman Jim Himes on Monday.
Silence. Not me. Not anymore. I will no longer stand here absorbing the faux concern, contrived gravity, and tepid smugness of a House complicit in the weekly bloodshed. Sooner or later, the country will hold us accountable for our inaction. But as you bow your head and think of what you say to your God, when you are asked what you did to slow the slaughter of innocents, there will be silence.
We cope perhaps by trying to compartmentalize it all. But where in our conscience do we find the room for still another shooting, another vigil, another funeral? There have been at least 15 already.
Amanda Alvear.
We go about what's become a routine of national mourning, all well-intentioned, all necessary, but all far too familiar.
Javier Jorge Reyes, 40.
Some saw a rainbow over the Pulse nightclub last week as a sign that perhaps the worst had passed, that maybe love had indeed won in the end.
19.
But rainbows are fleeting. They will be back, but perhaps only after the next storm.
Tevin Eugene Crosby, 25.
Frank Hernandez, 27.